Welcome to day 72 of trying to become a SOC analyst on the LetsDefend platform. I've assigned myself this high severity ticket. It's SOC 235, Confluence broken access control 0 day, and we've got a CVE. So I've already assigned the ticket to myself. We've got the Confluence Data Center as the host name. We've got the IP, the endpoint that they've attempted to communicate with, which is flagged alert, and also the user agent is curl, so that's a bit of a worry. Device action was allowed. So I've googled the CVE, which is here, but the basic summary of it is an unauthenticated remote threat actors can exploit this vulnerability to create unauthorized admin accounts and access Confluence instances. More specifically, threat actors can change the Confluence server's configuration to indicate the setup is not complete and use the setup/setupadministrator.action endpoint to create a new administrator account. The vulnerability is triggered via a request on the unauthorized/server-info.action endpoint. So these would be the 2 points we're looking at in our logs to see whether or not there was a successful attack. So now that we understand what's going on, let's have a look and see what we can find out. So let's jump to the logs. So this is our endpoint or our server. Have those logs came up? Yes, okay. All quite high ports, which is a bit odd. Let's go back in time a bit. Okay, destination port 80, and then there's suddenly all these high order ports. Alright, let's look at our ticket for the time, 9th of November. So it's all of, just these latest logs down the bottom here. Just check the dates on, that's all early November. Okay, so finishsetup.action, it's been response 200, so it was allowed. I think I'm looking at the logs in reverse order, but that's alright. Setupadministrator.action, post 302, so that was a redirect. And server this was the vulnerable endpoint, the server-info.action, and that was 200 response. Complete setup equals false. So yeah, that's triggered it. And what's this? This is this an actual log from our application. So yep, log source Confluence access logs. So it's pretty much the same as the logs we're seeing. The HTTP GET request to that vulnerable endpoint, which then kicks it into the setup hasn't been completed, and then we can see here that with a post they're probably entering in details to complete the setup, such as the username and password for a new administrator, and that's a redirect, and that's been allowed. So that's a worry. I'll just paste that into my notes. If we actually have a look at the IP, no doubt it will come back as malicious if they're curling websites. Okay, so geolocated in Asia Pacific. Actually, no, it's not. It's in United States of America, but owned by Asia Pacific Network. And there's one report of abuse, and it's just exploited hosts a year ago. Okay, let's throw it into virus total as well, just to double check. Okay, that's been flagged as malicious here, so we can say it's a malicious actor. Looking at the logs, it would look like our endpoint is vulnerable, but let's actually confirm that by going to endpoint security. Looking at Confluence Data Center, version 8.03. If we look at our affected versions, 8.03 is affected. Sorry, I'll just paste that in my notes. And looking at the login processes, what have we got? Nothing stands out as being too malicious there, but malicious IP is listed as a connection. No, that's not our IP, sorry. It's .222. I saw the .45 dot. There's another one, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, there it is. So we can see the connection there, that's 947. 947, okay. And no terminal, no bash history. Okay, so I think we have enough information to start our playbook. So start playbook, understand why it's triggered. So we've looked at the CVE and we do have an understanding of why the alert was triggered. Collect the data, so we've looked at the logs, we've looked at the endpoint, we've determined the IP is malicious. We've looked at the HTTP traffic. Is it malicious? Yes. It's not command injection or LFI. So I think we're going to other as our option. Not planned. External to the company. Check whether it was successful. So looking at the logs, it does look like it was successful. The HTTP response codes were confirming it was successful, and the logs from the server itself look like the commands did go through. So was the attack successful? Yes. Containment. We need to contain the machine. So that's been done. Next, what artifacts did we get? So I copied some of these across while we were looking into our alert. We have our endpoint. Which was the URL address. And we have our malicious IP. And if we just click back to our logs, just make sure that was the one I copied. It was, so that's what started it all off, and we've got the malicious IP. So next, okay, do we need to escalate? We definitely do. Server needs to be patched. I'm going to pause the video and write some notes. Okay, so my notes here, we've mapped it to the MITRE attack techniques. We've got exploit, public facing application, valid accounts, and create account. Logged in the 5W style, who, malicious activity originated from an external IP address, 43 dot, targeting the Confluence Data Center server, IP 172 dot, and the internal IP. What? The SOC alert 235, Confluence broken access control 0 day, CVE triggered due to exploitation attempts against a vulnerable Confluence instance server. Logs confirm successful exploitation of CVE and the tag. allowing their attacker to bypass setup protections and create an unauthorized administrator account. HTTP logs show sequential requests using curl to access /server-info.action, followed by a post request to setup/setupadministrator.action and setup/finishsetup.action, indicating completion of setup abuse process. The server is running Confluence version 8.03, which is confirmed vulnerable. Threat intelligence confirms the source IP is malicious. When, we've got the timestamp. Where, we've got the target host name, destination IP, the source IP, their affected application and its version, and the log file. The why, alert was triggered due to exploitation of known critical vulnerability, CVE in the tag, affecting Confluence. Investigation confirms the instance was vulnerable and their attacker successfully abused the setup functionality to create an unauthorized administrator account. This represents a confirmed compromise of a public-facing application. The incident was contained and escalated to Tier 2. So, we'll close that off. And let's see how we went. Close the alert first. So true positive, yes. Paste our notes back in. The 63-day streak. And that's okay, everything tagged as correct. It was a true positive. It did need to be escalated. It was a successful attack. The direction of the traffic was external to internal. It was not a planned test. Their attack type was other, and it was malicious traffic. So there we go. That's our alert for the day. I'll see you on day 73. Thank you.